And U.S. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth faced some tough questions from the U.S. lawmakers on the Iran conflict. And this is Hegseth's first testimony to U.S. Congress since the war in West Asia began. While appearing before the House Armed Service Committee, Hegseth quickly struck a combative tone, saying in his opening remarks that the main challenge at this point is the defeatist words of congressional Democrats and some Republicans. Hegseth insisted that Iran had not given up their nuclear ambitions and still have thousands of missiles. Listen to this.
President Trump has been clear-eyed, from the killing of Qasem Soleimani to the pulling out of the Iran deal to Midnight Hammer and now to this effort to recognize that you have to stare down this kind of enemy who's hell-bent on getting a nuclear weapon and get them to a point where they're at the table giving it up in a way that
so they
never have it.
The Secretary of War's statement comes at a time when the war in West Asia remains unresolved and the economic fallout from it is continuing globally. As the hearing went on, the committee raised several questions on the feasibility of the war and how much it has cost the U.S. A senior Pentagon official provided the first official estimate of the military's price tag for the conflict.
Thank you for that question. So approximately at this day, we're spending about $25 billion on Operation Epic Fury. Most of that is munitions. There's part of that is obviously O&M and equipment replacement. We will formulate a supplemental through the White House that will come to Congress once we have a full assessment of the cost of the conflict.
So you're saying the full cost at this point is $25 billion?
Yeah, that's our estimate for the cost.
The comments came as U.S. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth defended the war to lawmakers amid skepticism from some Democrats on the committee about the rationale for going to war and the toll it has taken on the United States' readiness. Hegseth and Democrat representative from California even had a fiery exchange on how Iran war is costing the people of the United States.
Previous administration did to our economy, what the previous administration did with inflation, what the previous administration did with COVID, and you're going to lecture this administration about the economy?
You know what is upsetting?
Incredible.
You didn't even do the analysis on how much it's costing the American people. It's one thing if you said, okay, it costs the American people $5,000, but we think it's worth it. That's what we've done in World War II and other wars. Here's what it costs. You got to pay for it. You don't even know what the average American is paying. You don't know what we paid in terms of the missiles that hit the Iranian school. You don't know what we're paying in terms of gas. You don't know what we're paying in terms of food. Your 25 billion number is totally off.
Meanwhile, Joint Chiefs of Staff Chairman General Dan Kane, he told lawmakers that President Trump is making trade-offs in focusing the military on Iran versus other key threats like China.
A president will employ national force and power based on the political and security situations that a president deems appropriate to use that military force. There's always trade-offs in all of these things. I'm confident that the president always carefully considers these readiness trade-offs, and I'm sure he has done so in this case based on the military options that we've presented with the associated risks and advice.
Trump and his administration have yet to publicly provide a plan for winding down the war, which has led Iran to close the vital Strait of Hormuz waterway, sending oil prices skyrocketing. A U.S. naval blockade of Iran's ports continue, and the U.S. has 3 aircraft carriers deployed in for the first time in more than 20 years. And for more on this, our correspondent Susan Tehrani has sent us this report from New York. Take a look.
U.S. President Donald Trump is turning up the pressure against Iran, saying that Tehran should, quote-unquote, get smart soon and sign a nuclear deal. Meanwhile, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth faced the grilling by lawmakers on Capitol Hill over the Pentagon's $1.5 trillion budget and the cost of war with Iran. Hegseth said that Operation Epic Fury has already cost about $25 billion, defending the joint U.S.-Israeli strikes and saying that naval blockade against Iran will stay in place until Iran agrees to some kind of negotiated settlement, but on Washington's terms that guarantees Tehran never has a nuclear weapon. President Trump revealed his discussions with Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, and said that Vladimir Putin wants to be involved in talks regarding Iran's nuclear enrichment, in which President Trump said that he prefers Putin to be involved in some kind of ceasefire with Ukraine. Meanwhile, CENTCOM has drawn plans for a short but significant military operation against Iran, showing that both military strikes, pressure, and negotiations are all on the table. Susan Tahrani reporting from New York for WION World is One.